There we go.
Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. This is the regular commission meeting for November 27, 2026. Any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman and board members, under the consent agenda, item number 3, please change the date of auditor warrants dated 1/15/26 to 1/16 of 26. Mr. Dave Smith is in the audience here. He's requesting to give public comment. Can we do that before Nick? Would that be all right? Sure. Have that. 9:30 a.m. the Pipestone Development Company driveway request. We're going to delete that due to scheduling conflicts with Jeremy Whipple and Travis from Bolton, Maine. I'd like to move that to the February 10th meeting at 9:30 a.m. And with that time change, since we don't have that, I'd like to bring in Bill Folger at 9:30 for this purchase, the IT equipment, and at 9:45 for HR Director Charlotte Seeger for her reports and action items. And also another business, we need to change the public hearing date of the shotgun ordinance because I was informed that that is the evening of the Minnesota precinct caucus, and I was not aware of that when we scheduled that. I don't think any of us were at town, so we'll have to.
Public meeting.
Yeah.
Not hearing meeting.
No, it's a hearing.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a meeting. No, we didn't have a hearing.
I apologize.
That's fine. And so we'll have to consider a new date for that at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
And with those changes, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any changes? I motion to approve the agenda.
And I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On the consent agenda, we have the minutes from 1/13/26. The commissioner warrants $225,044.80. Auditors warrants from 1/16 and 1/23/26. Hospital warrants $110,454.60. And December 2025 treasurer's report.
Sure, we'll approve that agenda. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, Dave, come on up.
That's it.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
Try to be really brief. I'm Dave Smith, originally a Jasper. I'm now a Pipestone, which is a little different.
You moved to a good deal.
I guess I don't know a lot of the neighborhood and stuff, so that's my reason for coming today, to just talk for a minute or two. My background is I lived 72 years in Jasper, and with my health getting older and my wife's health, it was time for us to make a move. And so we built half of the twin home in Hill Edition. And why I'm here is early in the process, there was a discussion about an abatement program. And I take as much blame as anybody else on the whole thing. I didn't really dig into it a lot or talk to anybody a whole lot about it. I kind of relied on, I worked a lot with the PDC on construction of our home. We actually didn't take title until December. So the whole process kind of ran through them. Really smooth, went really well. We love our home and stuff. Was told up front that the city didn't do an abatement because they had stuck money into the infrastructure of the property. And so there wasn't an abatement, but there was a county one. And I didn't pursue it very hard or think about it or anything like that. And how we got done, I asked Jeremy about it, and he said, well, it wasn't really available. And so again, I take the blame. It isn't a big deal. Financially, I'm fine with it. My concern a little bit is a member of the county. And I know a lot about regulations. I was a banker for 43 years, 30 in Jasper, 13 in Russell. I was the mayor of Jasper for 18 years. I was in the military for 26 years. So I know all about policies and rules and regulations and all that kind of stuff. But my concern is the county abatement program. I'm not sure who all knows about it and what the rules are and stuff like that. The understanding that I have is the reason we weren't eligible is you have to get your building permit, which in Pipestone is fairly expensive. You know, I'm talking about relative to what we did in Jasper and stuff. And it was a bit challenging to get, and I understand they have had some turmoil at the city level, and hopefully they're getting that in order. You know, although they outsourced it, which you're always kind of concerned about and wonder how that's gonna go and how that's gonna work out anyhow. But apparently the rule was from the time we got our permit until we started construction is when we apparently were to make the application for the abatement. And I didn't really understand that. And that ended up being really, really tight. And then the truth of the matter is, I'm not sure we had our permit before we started digging the footing. So, you know, just because of some of the turmoil that was going on within the building inspector and stuff like that. And we did the footings because it was in the fall of 24, because talking to like Billy Quist and some of the contractors, it would be a whole lot better to get the footings in the ground and let it all settle. So that in the springtime, we were ready for construction. So that's in fact what we did. So that's my point of being here, is just to talk about the abatement. I mean, I was involved obviously for my community in banking for years and understand growth and development. And if you're not growing in the city or the county, you're dying. So construction is really important. So I don't know, and I apologize. I didn't do a lot of background. This all kind of came about recently. And I didn't really even have a chance to come and talk to Steve. I don't know if there's something written and published, if there's a flyer, who's got the information. All of those types of things are a concern to me. Basically three things. I built a home, it was fairly significant, and it's in Pipestone County. And yet I'm told, well, not eligible for the thing. And it's just because of circumstances, and I understand rules. So my point is that something that needs to be looked at and maybe modified or improved, and then better distributed to people so that there's, I mean, right now, is there something that people can have that explains what they need to do? That's my question.
There is such a policy.
And I assume there would be. I mean, I can't imagine having a program that wouldn't have that.
Right. And normally, the abatement is available prior to breaking ground on the project.
Yeah.
Because it's an incentive to break ground.
Right.
There's your contractor messed up because Edgerton has an independent contractor that applies for that before he does anybody's. And his name is on it until he sells it. So that's the way it works.
Yeah.
And the PDC is aware of the policy.
Well, and we discussed it up front. I just wasn't very clear on the details. And like I said, it's not a big deal. You know, financially I'm fine, but I'm just like my neighbors next door that have moved in now. They came out of the Twin Cities. It would be nice for them to have gotten a small abatement and welcome to Pipestone. We're glad to have you here. You know, that kind of thing. So it's just those little things. So somehow, you know, somewhere along the line, you know, and it's a bigger community. You don't have, you know, like Jasper, I'm sure it's a lot like Edgerton. There's probably one primary contractor, and that's the person that builds homes. You guys have multiple people here in town, so it makes a difference. So,
when we formulated that policy, we discussed that with developers versus individual people with their general contractor. So we did make this abatement available for it to be transferable to the eventual buyer.
right.
And I'm glad that you brought this up, because I'm a little dismayed that Jeremy Webb was president of PDC would say that it wasn't available or applicable to you because it is.
Yeah.
You know,
But it was more after the fact.
well, and that's the only stipulation we have, is you have to have it not only applied for but approved, because, you know, of course, as you know, what's your municipal experience, you have to publicize it.
Oh, yeah.
For a meeting, so of course, it has to be an agenda public meeting for it.
Yeah.
So there is like a 2 week, sometimes a 3 week lag between the time you turn in your paperwork and it's actually ready to date.
Yeah.
And we've had some people that, because of weather and contractor availability, could not wait for that 3 weeks. They went ahead and went forward with it, knowing that they would sacrifice that abatement program.
That's probably where we were at a little bit. Is all much was available to put in the concrete. Somebody was to take the footings and all those kinds of things.
I don't know of any other way that we change wording on that policy, because again, the intent of that was for it to be an incentive and not for it just being automatic payment anytime anybody fails. So it has to be a set for it. So,
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Just curious, you know, like, and then I assume it's public record, but Like
Well.
my neighbors, did they get it? And like the unit to the north of us that
Yeah.
felt respect, and now I understand, hopefully the south unit sold, and then there's 3 new houses over on the west side by Coburn's are being built. Hopefully they all had an opportunity.
I just wondered, occasionally, why aren't they applying for this? Because there have been a couple of them that's, well, they're building and nobody applied for their abatement, so.
The two on the south end did get abatements.
Okay.
They did apply and we did have the hearings for them. We've actually run into the fact that, just what you said, that due to time crunches, we've had people apply for it and then pull it because they need to get going right away.
Right.
And,
Well, that
things do change in their
yeah,
business.
that's kind of what happened with us.
Right.
It's all of a sudden bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
available, and let's go.
Yeah, it's
like, okay,
Did you happen to look or follow our website at all, the county's
I
website?
did.
Because
it's on there.
there's information on there, and of course, our assessor appraiser has that information through.
I need to take blame in this situation too. I didn't do my homework the way I should have. And I'm pretty anal, and stuff. So
Most bankers are
Yeah.
very, very particular.
around the military, that taught me to that too. Because if you don't pay attention, you cost people their lives.
Right.
They pounded that in when I was a young lieutenant.
I appreciate you bringing this forward, because
Yeah.
the more that we can get this word out.
Yes, and that's my point of being here. It's not necessarily to complain. It's just, is there a good system? How do we make sure people are aware of it?
Yeah.
People shouldn't miss the opportunity, because it is important. And it's important for the county and the cities to build the tax base. I mean, my dad helped me buy 13.5 acres in Jasper, and I kept 3.5 for myself. And so over the next, we were there for 47 years. So over the next 47 years, we sold the lots off, and when it was all said and done, I think there was 13 new homes in West Jasper that weren't there before. In a town our size, that's maybe only once every 3 or 4 years, but even still, it's important to build the base, and because we all know that property taxes and tax dollars and all those kinds of things. So, anyway.
Justin's been real helpful at the EDA too, when a person would come down to the city to apply for their, grant for their new home. He says, don't forget, the county has one too. Go see the county, stop down at Amanda's office, get the application, get going on it too. So kind of working together that way too. So we're both trying to get work done as well.
I'll maybe stop in at a quieter time and get some information to have it available to make sure I can help point out to people too. So
Certainly.
If you'd like, you could build another house.
once enough. Actually, this is the second one. We built the first one in 1970. So yeah, but yeah, we're pleased. It's different being in Pipestone than Jasper.
Well,
it's the right thing for us in our time in our lives. So.
As a citizen here, welcome to town, and thank you for choosing Pipestone. We need more people to invest in the community and come here to retire.
Well, and honestly, we struggle with a little bit. I mean, my first question to my wife is a lot of nice homes being up in that northeast corner in the Veterans Parkway. But we both doctor here. We buy our groceries here. We golf, have circle of friends, and it was the right place to be.
Thank you for that.
And I think I'm excited about the addition, where we're at, as it is built and developed and stuff. It's just a nice area. So anyhow, again, I'm not here to complain. I was just concerned about how things transpired. I take as much blame as anybody on what happened. And it was unfortunate. And like I said, it's not a big financial thing. So okay. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dave. Yeah.
Amen.
All right, great.
All right, first up for me today, be scheduling, setting a date for the road and bridge hearing. Due to a bunch of weird office conflicts this year, so I thought it'd be easier to maybe split the map out, have that calendar out on there. Instead of just listing them off, so. Assuming that's something you want to do again, if you don't want to do it. But, we do go over dates that work for us, and I don't know that I necessarily need anything today. I mean, if you need to look at your own calendars, I could bring it back. The next meeting.
Better do it while the days are open now.
Okay.
The 25th work for people, February 25th.
February 25th. Tuesday, 25th, yeah.
Meeting that night.
This would be in the morning.
Yeah.
9:00.
9 or 9:30 or
Usually 9:00.
9 o'clock. That works for me.
9:00, and like Wednesday, February.
Um. Actually, Steve, do you have access to the EMS calendar to make sure everything's open? Try to make sure the base is actually for football.
Right.
And actually, looking back, I should have checked Casey first, I guess, but didn't know. So, sorry about that. Yeah, I think so, but. Yeah, I prefer to work around the weekend, so.
Your calendar kind of looks like ours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of those Tuesdays were board meetings, I guess, because
Right.
afternoon, but I think everybody's used to being early in the morning, so. That's fine, like.
Yes, it's open.
Do you want a motion on that, any big action?
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move that we hold the road and bridge hearing for 2026 on February 25th at the EMS building at 9 AM. Second.
Okay, motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
All right, thank you. The next up for me would be approval of a couple final payments. First one was for 2025 box culvert contract number 1, just to ENC excavating. Final payment amount is $25,033.55. As you can see, they actually came in under bid a little bit on that, so.
Motion for that approval, or that. Any discussion? Other than not only could we look at, but we can under also. Right.
No, that doesn't happen very often. Well, shouldn't say that to that.
Happened again too, but right. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
All right, next, request for final payment was for 2025 box culvert contract number 2. It's also the ANC excavating, final payment amount there is $19,066.89. And as you can see, that one came in a little under it as well, so.
Chair, move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's good to do business with companies like this, you know, if they could easily added that somehow to.
Yeah,
Original contract.
right, a lot of this stuff is, we kind of have to bid the worst case scenario, like what we're doing plans, we have to bid in. The contractor doing events, and sometimes the private landowners want to do it themselves, so that's a cost we're not paying through the contract here. Sometimes if they don't tear the site up, we can use the natural vegetation instead of having to blanket it all, you know, so there's a cost savings there, so. Different weird things like that kind of thing, so.
You got a place to have somebody road going on.
Nice.
It is. Any more discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right, next up for me would be, request to purchase some signs. We requested 3 bids, these were the only 2 that got back to us, the other one couldn't get all the materials. I don't remember who that third one was, it was one from the buyers. I'd recommend going with the low bid from MR Sign for $25,645.41.
If you know, this is great. This thing.
Uh,
Great.
I don't remember, I was out last week at the county engineers conference and Trevor handed it in the chair. I tried to put that on here, and yeah, I spaced it out.
Okay.
I don't know, I guess.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Any discussion?
So part of these just go into your inventory, or do you have a specific rotation number of signs you have to change in here?
They'll go in our inventory, it's not like, we just did a bunch of work for Altona Township, that was a bunch for them. This just goes into our inventory, and as we use them, you know, we'll do another one in 6 months or whatever it is, so.
If I recall, years ago, we had to start changing signs out because they weren't reflective enough.
Yep.
Do we still have non-reflective ones out there, or those all been cycled?
They were,
Yeah, well, yeah,
for the reflectivity part,
yeah,
they only last one.
And
but
then,
we've been through everything.
No, then you go through it again.
Yeah,
Because, then the cycle of.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
the next ones that are bad.
and
They were all replaced by any means.
and then they kind of wear out at different schedules too, if they're facing north or south, right? Yeah, so. I don't necessarily go by age, you know, if it's wears out early, we replace it early, you know,
Yeah.
versus if it's still good because it's facing north or something, you know, doesn't get much sun on
First, the state aid ones, we've been switching to those blue signs
yeah.
instead of white.
Yeah.
I think there's still a few white ones out there, but
it. Yeah,
getting down and not so many.
right,
They're road marker ones.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Better compliments over those two. Going from the white signs to the color.
yeah, I personally like them, but, that's just me, I guess, but. I told them to replace them as they go bad, not just, because I don't wanna throw, I just hate throwing away the good sign, you know, so they go wait till it cleans out and then.
Just to comment, yes, those are critical,
Correct.
that's not stop. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Start replacing.
Just puts me the thought of throwing away the good white signs, not the
Right.
color we want, you know.
I know some of the white ones were so faded that
They're,
there was almost no lettering left on it.
right,
It was white.
but, you know, we have a part-time sign guy, and a sign like that is pretty low on the priority list, you know, like I said, it's not yields and ones that get on attention, so.
Right.
The 911 address signs, that's a program, or those included in this as well?
So I think we have a bunch of blanks. Those are kind of getting pretty bad too, and I don't. Gosh, do we really have a program for?
Well, it was quite a few years ago, then we actually decided we had to do a field inventory of them, so I think Kyle's people helped us some, and we checked them all. We have made a list of what needed to be replaced. That's been, boy, that's been quite a few years. So
Right.
it's probably due again, because, people don't, some people don't care that it's down or broken, can't see it, or it's. Bunch of, again. Sure.
I assume none of these signs are to replace the directional signs to the towns.
No, these are just for our signs, not the state signs and stuff. Yeah, we can't put anything in the state right away. I mean, if it's-
Recall, state what people left do that.
No, they would.
We did that on 23 with the deer signs. They wouldn't put up deer signs on 23 towards now, in the county.
Sure.
Information. No, that's Bishop or Rivers.
Now we did. So it might be possible.
No, when we talked to the DOT first, we asked that question to specific.
And they won't.
And they just told us no, that we couldn't do it. Pay for ourselves. All crazy.
That's what I would expect to hear. I don't remember saying that, but that would have. Yeah, that's what I would.
Is do we want to pay for?
Yeah.
Call the question.
Okay. All those in favor,
I
opposed, motion carries.
All right, then lastly here, that old ambulance chassis is in our shop now. We went down and got it. I don't, it's run good, so that's good. So we did find out that the cab is too short, like the seats kind of go behind the cab, it's kind of odd, they must have went into the old box, so I didn't, it's like that, so. Instead of just closing off the back, we got a price to like extend it like a foot, so the seats go back far enough. We had our shortest employee drive it home, seat forward, tipped up, and we made it. It's probably not the ideal situation going forward, so.
We need to put it back in.
Yeah. Yeah, it needed the whole back,
Yeah.
but I thought we
do
could
it
just,
something different.
right, we just gotta extend it a foot and then put it back on. We invited 4 people to bid on that, two actually bid on it. A little bit was Courts Collision. So I would recommend going with them for that work. Then we priced out a number of boxes with the hoist. Vanderhags from Sioux Falls was a little bit, but that one's only primed. It doesn't have any paint or lights on it. The other 2 bids you see there listed were painted. So we could take the primed one, save $1,200, and then we gotta buy paint and put lights on it. And we don't have any body people, so I don't know what the paint job would end up looking like. So it'd be my recommendation to go with Northern Truck and Equipment bid. That one's already painted, so.
And there's lights.
And it has lights, so yeah, I would recommend.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right, it's not the low bid, but I think ultimately it might be a little bit, so.
I'll make a motion to go with Works Collision with a cab extension and then Northern Truck Equipment with the dump box and points.
Support that.
Discussion.
Anybody need any information about Courts Collision? It's a body shop and maybe when you started a couple years ago. That's what. Just to look for the.
Are they gonna fabricate that out of metal now? So it's comparable between K and Courts. They were been apples to apples on them.
I'm the only way to do it.
Yes, those should maybe somebody do it fiberglass or something, but I guess I just assume they're all metal.
It's gonna be look bend and proper. Their body shop, they don't.
Yeah, I'm not about you guys. Just took to work.
They put no window
Yes, I think they ordered and it's got a window in it. I mean, yeah, I know. It said that that's what Quentin said that's what he was going to ask for, you know, trying to get a window in it, but I never confirmed that.
So there was a kit available. He doesn't have to make that. He doesn't have to fabricate this scratch. He's actually a kit for it.
Yes, he said the kit,
Sure.
but I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it must be somewhat,
some company makes.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, so we're probably not
do a
doing,
lot of things that get done.
right, we're probably not the only ones to do this. The last comment I have, down here, I just have a few extra notes. We've never done this before, so I'm trying to expect the unexpected, I guess, so. There might be some other lights involved, like, I suppose strobe lights, bumper, or license plate lights, so. That's what lights down there means. We have to put a bumper on it to hitch. It doesn't have a license plate now, so to get one, I suppose there might be some type of registration fees. I don't know, but. And then we'd have to have it mounted. But side note, when this chassis wears out, I don't see why we couldn't take the box and hoist and move it on to a different one. So I don't think we can have all this cost every time. So
It's just the box not mounted, not that price not mounted.
correct. But we get the box and we have to have it.
So you're gonna do what you can or a machine shop.
Yeah, we'll bring it to a local machine shop if it's not something that bolts on, welds on fairly reasonably. We have a professional do it. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I know about it. You guys are really excited for it. It's gonna be pretty nice. Yeah, it will be really nice tool to have, so.
Maybe it's $450, I think, so that's
1.25 ton, I think.
1.5. I guess I'll just remind the board that we saved actually $2,000 by not trading this in, so that kind of helps with the price. So
Do we need to cut EMS check or something? Or was that ever discussed?
we just saved them.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions or comments? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Any other questions for me? Otherwise, that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Morning. I have a couple board requests this morning. One is for a new piece of hardware, should we start there? So upgrading server and LE environment. And this will accommodate the new CAD that we're moving into here next year. We want it in place by April. April's going to be, it's going to happen, but it's going to be hard for the vendors to provide it for. If we get this approved right away, like today, then we can get going on finding these parts because they're available and then they're available. I'm a little bit shocked by the price. Putting things together last year, this is about half of what we were thinking. And the cost is in the RAM, the memory. The cost is in the hard drives, which are basically memory now for all SSD. These are very, very similar machines. Morris has the best price. There's just a couple little things that are different than otherwise. And not things that would reflect that much $4,000 price. Any questions about that?
The RAM and memory is going up like crazy. I think you told me that.
Like crazy. They're saying it because of AI, but industry wide, everybody's going, okay, show me where the data centers that they're consuming all this. I think it's more about tooling to get ready for that when it's coming.
Generally, the purchase of just step forward and go to your plan for bill recommendation.
I will second that.
Any discussion?
So is it really a purchase or is it more of a lease because there's the annual fee? So we actually buy the hardware as a purchase and the other is. Or am I confused?
I think you're on the wrong
Well,
quote.
I'm on the wrong.
Yeah, more like 20, yeah, one here.
That's the next. So the Morris for the district.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Correct your motion. That's where I got mixed up. Yeah. And I will second that for Morris.
There a service plan or anything for the resident?
Yeah, we'll get 3 years warranty out of it. The computer man quote had a 5-year warranty. Does that make it that difference? I don't see that either. Usually for stuff when we buy warranty on this kind of stuff, it's a couple $100 a year.
When we go to body camp, does that affect either of these?
So This will be part of what that talks to.
Are there funds available for the body cams that can be used for the memory for the storage as well too?
We didn't do it that way.
Okay. Because there were state monies available for the body cams.
Yeah, but not the server.
Okay.
Back.
I think we went over that state.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Not all those in favor? Opposed? Motion
Thank you. Okay, the second one is about tracking our data requests. Data requests are coming. They're coming to all the different departments, and we have a standard form. And the way the statute reads in Minnesota, it's kind of optional whether or not they fill out the form or not. But we do have to track some of the things that people have data requests for. You know, we can get data requests for data requests. So we looked at a couple different options for just tracking this stuff, and a lot of it is kind of self-service, and it's cloud-based. Some of the data requests we've gotten lately have been for exactly the same data. It may not be exactly the same dates of the data, but very similar. As an example, the highway department gets data requests where they're asking for all the different bid plans, and they want bid plans going back to 2017. The angle that we've determined is they want this data to feed an AI and then sell a service to try to get you the best bid. If you use their service, they can analyze all bids in the state and look at which ones get selected, right? So if people are asking for the same data request, we're wasting employees' time by finding them the same thing. Use a tool that, each department can, a tool that can track that and provide that to them. And we may not even have to interact with it at all. So we looked at a couple of them that do that. The Just FOIA ongoing is going to be half of what Civic Plus is offering. The Civic Plus one is more like the Buick, and we're kind of choosing the regular Chevy.
It'll still do enough that people won't have to get tagged up, wasting time.
We hope, right.
Doing a lot of these too, Mr. Chairman, they're emailing in to me and I'm emailing to Bill, and most of them are highway. This is discussing warrant bids and whatever we've been doing over years. A lot of them from the same company, the same guy. We just keep changing them up and different project, different year, whatever. It's just like, and they just got to go back in and dig out all the data, find it all, put it all together, then try to get these people to fill out our form that we have here. They're fighting that too. So if we can do this all in one place, it'll save us a lot.
Is there construction companies that are seeking the information?
It's data aggregation type companies.
Not companies.
They sell the service to a construction.
Oh, sure. They aggregate all the data that they're getting from all the counties. I mean, if we're getting them, the other 86 counties, we're getting them too. Same thing, they want to know.
So they're kind of telling companies like, what's the average price of whatever service, so that you might have a better shot. So that's not considered good rigging.
No, I wouldn't think so. Research.
Right.
There's this history.
Yeah, and it's also public data, but this will give it to them in a better format and allow us to track these data requests as they come.
Right.
We can, right? But there's a lot of restrictions on how we can charge a fee, and actually different types of data can some you can't charge anything for, and some. Kind of boils down to if you can provide it to them electronically, they don't have to pay. But we can charge some if there's a lot of time involved in producing whatever it is they want.
Do these programs differentiate between those?
They can actually collect the fees if we wanted it to do that.
Right. Yeah, if you can at least recover the cost of the program, that would be bad.
I think that might be steep, but as, we'll see. We'll see. Right.
Mr. Chair, I move the purchase of the justified appropriate one for builder.
I will second.
Any questions or discussion?
One last question too, I would assume the software, if there were indeed a bad actor out there that was making nuisance requests, just to tie our hands. I would assume that this software would be able to identify that because of the repetitive nature of the request.
It probably would. It'd be hard to define what's nuisance and what's not.
Yeah.
You know, if they're meeting all the criteria, then they're just.
It is a void.
They're like wasting tax dollars, I guess.
We have any recourse through the rules if there were that type of nuisance?
Not.
Not really.
I mean, there's places where you can deny a request.
Yeah, but we have to have justification for it.
Yes.
Take it to court.
Right.
Well, previous AMC conferences showed the trend data requests that are going up every year, so this would be help to our staff to help for to free them up to work on the stuff around here.
Yeah.
Not that these data requests are important, but
I'm sure there's a certain number of some terms.
Remember, it is also in state statute that we have a responsibility to respond to requests.
Be transparent.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Yes.
yeah, it's been good. Like that ever doesn't affect them do as much, but it's.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good to know.
A number of items for action and to report today. I'm actually going to start with the request for board action to adopt revised 2026 non-union pay plan salary amount. The reason for this is because the amounts that were initially presented to you were calculated as annualized amounts. And upon further review of our historical practices, it was determined that the salary amounts for non-union positions should have been calculated using the 2080 hour rule based on the hourly rates. So the original methodology that was presented to you created variances among the salary values when compared to those established practices. And historically, since the salary amounts have been derived by multiplying the approved hourly rates by 2080 hours to reflect the standard full-time work year. So my proposal is approve the revised salary amounts presented here today, which have been recalculated using the approved 3% increase in hourly rates multiplied by 2080. This approach aligns with the historical practice and ensures consistency and accuracy across the non-union pay plan. There's no fiscal impact. The budgeted amounts I had used were based on those hourly amounts, no fiscal impact. So I'm requesting adoption of revised 2026 non-union pay plan salary amounts.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion that we adopt this revised plan. I'll second it. And again, to reiterate, said there's no fund back, basically just cleaning up.
Not all those in favor? Opposed?
Next item is resolution number 59/10/2026. Amending section 2 and section 5 of the compensation and time reporting policy. Pipestone County's compensation plan for non-union employees is based on salary ranges with step progressions from minimum to maximum. The county board reviews compensation annually as part of the budgeting process and retains discretion to authorize general adjustments and other compensation actions. Historically, step advancements have occurred on individual employee anniversary dates, creating administrative inefficiencies and inconsistent timing when compared to bargaining unit wage adjustments. The proposed amendments to section 2 and 5 of the compensation and time reporting policy were reviewed and recommended by the personnel committee. The proposed changes are intended to support employee retention, promote internal equity, and streamline compensation administration. Why these changes are needed is because step eligibility is currently tied to individual anniversary dates, which results in administrative inefficiencies and inconsistent timing, and creates misalignment with bargaining unit wage adjustments. The change will establish January 1st as a standard effective date for authorized step advancements. It preserves the county board authority and discretion in approving those steps, confirms that step advancements are not guaranteed annually, and it does not change existing salary arrangements for maximum amounts. Change does not create automatic entitlement to step increases, and it does not apply to union employees or elected officials. These amendments are intended to be effective January 1st of 2026, and the administration of the policy is authorized through human resources. All the other provisions of the policy remain unchanged.
Mr. Chairman, approval resolution.
Now seconds. And then of course I've got a question. So going from their hire date then to the first year, then do you have during the transition, so if there's no gap in there, so are you prorating individuals for that first year when you make this transition or not?
We have not prorated them. Right now, employees have been held at their current step unless their step date was in January.
Is that gonna cause any inequities because of how it worked out the person's hire date? Or is it something that's unavoidable?
It's something that's unavoidable to align the administrative process.
Yeah.
Right now, we're doing between 6 and 12 changes every single month for step advancements, along with the COLAs for everyone January 1st. So it's duplicating pay changes throughout the year. Fiscal impact, where we're sitting right now, is about 50,000. I do see that to be offset by individuals taking leave, and I don't foresee that being a significant impact to our bottom line budget.
And if there is an employee who happens to be unfairly affected, possibly by this policy, you could make adjustments to that at the end of the year as well too, to make up for any of those inequities.
I am open to the discussion to evaluating the compensation plan more thoroughly if we wanted to, rather than step increases, if it was more performance-based steps where your R1 step is 2.75%, exceptional performance could be 5%, 2 steps along that line. So the amendments that I am proposing are just allowing us to get everything in line administratively for January 1st. But I am hoping for further discussion on the compensation practices as a whole to allow more of a performance-based system.
Mr. Chairman, I see where you're going. Say there's an employee that's hire date is June, and he's due for a step increase this coming June. Yeah. Would that be retroactive to this January or to next year?
This January.
So he would get a bonus.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be,
Yeah.
it would be negative 6 months, it'd be positive 4.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Definitely.
No employee is negatively affected by this.
That was my point.
Every
Where you're going.
Yeah.
every single employee is either advancing 1 month or 11 months ahead of what their anniversary.
Would have been terrific, thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Next item is resolution number 5911/2026, amendments to the sick leave policy. Our sick leave policy has remained largely unchanged in recent years and requires updates to ensure the compliance with the Minnesota Earned Sick and Safe Time law, alignment with current leave administration practices, and modernization of a post-employment healthcare benefit strategies. The Personnel Committee proposed targeted amendments to clarify authorized usage, improve administrative consistency, and encourage responsible accumulation of sick leave. And we are introducing a sick leave credit conversion program to provide employees with a tax advantage healthcare benefit. The new language in the policy for the sick leave credit allows employees who, as of December 31st of each calendar year, that have a minimum balance identified in the policy will have the corresponding number of sick leave hours deducted from their sick leave bank and converted to the cash equivalent of the employee's base hourly rate of pay and deposited into the Minnesota State Retirement System Healthcare Savings Plan account during the following year. The program is designed to encourage employees to maintain an adequate sick leave balance, promote responsible use of sick leave, and provide that tax advantage healthcare benefits through employer contributions to the healthcare savings plan. The fiscal impact is expected to be modest and predictable. Annual conversion limits are limited to a small number, 8, 16 to 24 hours. Participation requires maintaining a minimum sick leave balance of 120, 240, and 360 hours respectively. And the contributions that we are providing into the Minnesota State Retirement System Healthcare Savings Plan are not subject to payroll taxes and do not count as reportable salary or retirement perks. We're sitting on that end as well. We had discussions whether contributions should be applied to the Minnesota State Retirement System or a VIVA account. And it was determined that the Minnesota State Retirement System was the best option because it integrates seamlessly with existing retirement accounts. It provides standardized administration with the established infrastructure and competitive fees. MSRS charges 0.65% annually for the value in their accounts, whereas the VIVA account charges a flat rate monthly, which starting off could be about 10% of what the account balance is for the VIVA account. The MSRS account allows tax-free employer contributions under the applicable laws and provides long-standing financial stability, professional investment management, and fiduciary oversight. These amendments propose modernize the sick leave policy, strengthen compliance, and enhance the county's total compensation benefit strategy.
1.65% annually. Knowing that's an investment fund, we should be still making positive gains every year versus 10% because we go backwards.
Exactly. Chairman, motion to approve resolution 59/11/26.
Okay, moved in second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
With that action, moving on to resolution number 5912/2026. This is a resolution approving the sunsetting of the wellness day policy. The Personnel Committee recommends the discontinuation of the wellness policy after determining that the program is no longer effective, equitable, or administratively feasible. Over the past 10 years, participation in the wellness program has steadily declined, with an average benefit reaching only approximately 10% of employees. Contrary to the sick leave credit, this first year, I anticipate providing benefit to over 40% of our employees. Administration of the wellness policy has become increasingly complex due to expanded federal and state leave protection, which limits the county ability to exclude legally protected leave from eligibility calculations. The county currently lacks reliable tracking mechanisms to differentiate protected leave from other absences, creating a compliance risk and an administrative burden and inequitable outcomes. Sunsetting the wellness day is requested to be effective December 31st of 2025. So no additional days will be earned after that date. Anyone who had earned a wellness day in 2025 are still eligible to use their time in 2026. Administration is directed to update all related personnel policies and procedures to reflect this change. This action eliminates a low utilization program, reduces compliance risk, and streamlines leave administration while ensuring alignment with applicable state and federal laws.
Motion approved, I'll support that. 9/12/26.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Be it retroactive then back to the end of 2025, doesn't pose any complications.
No, so everyone who used less than 24 hours in 2025 are still eligible to receive their wellness day in 2026. Just no new wellness time will be earned for 2026 because we have replaced it with this sick leave.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed?
Last item for action is a resolution approving amendments to the employee performance evaluation policy, resolution number 59/13/26. The Personnel Committee recommends amendments to the employee performance evaluation policy to improve administrative efficiency and align performance evaluation and compensation practices with the county's annual process. So the key changes, just changing human resources coordinator to human resources, removing language linking salary increases to individual employee anniversary dates, to align this with the compensation and time reporting resolution that was just approved. Meaning separate wage rate changes will now occur on January 1st in accordance with the county's established annual evaluation period. Performance evaluations will still be conducted on an annual basis, but will be at the end of the year rather than the individual's employee anniversary date, with the exception of newly hired individuals who will still have performance evaluations at the end of their probationary period and 1 year period. The benefits of these amendments will streamline administrative processes and reduce potential payroll processing errors. And it aligns the performance evaluations, step increase, wage adjustments, and cost of living adjustments for the calendar year and county evaluation schedule. These amendments would take effect immediately upon adoption and will be incorporated into the county's personnel policy manual.
Chair, we make the adjustments resolution 59/13/326.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. And just one last human resources update. The negotiations committee was unable to reach a tentative agreement with the licensed law enforcement union, our deputies. As a result, their union representative has filed a petition for mediation, citing wages as the primary area of concern. Mediation is a facilitated process with a neutral third-party mediator who assists in exploring potential solutions. The mediator does not impose a decision, but helps guide the discussions between the two parties. So we will continue to participate and provide updates as we have them.
So the mediator's decision is not binding. Is that what you said?
Correct. The mediator's goal is only to get us to reach a decision amongst each other. Any other questions, comments, feedback?
Next step, if we aren't successful, is arbitration, correct? That is binding.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Good work.
A lot of
Yes.
Any other?
All you get for the year.
Oh, yeah. You have to change the date for that. You're.
Chairman, and I thank Jill for this. She brought it to my attention yesterday. Thanks for that. When we did that, I had no idea it was caucus night. I apologize to all those that are caucusing.
Yeah, I didn't either until.
It wasn't even on my radar.
It wasn't on mine either
Yeah.
until I got a phone call, so.
So, and again, the reason is it's the statewide precinct caucus being held on February 3rd, 2026. And according to statute, there can be no special taxing district governing body, school board, county board of commissioners, township board, city council can hold a meeting after 6 p.m. on that evening. So we are not allowed to do that, so we need to find another date that will work. We've already advertised for something, so I think we're done. We're done. We're done on the 3rd.
I think the 7 o'clock is the times.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Four people.
Take that back.
We could do it on, I have to have 2 weeks in the newspapers to publish. So the soonest, if anyone you want to do it. If you want to do it on the evening of the 24th of February, after the board meeting, we're all here. If you want to do something like that, or pick another date, or whatever you guys want to do.
24th looks okay. And should be good. Anybody else okay with it?
We're busy all day that way.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're all around, so. And that gets us a little bit closer to the time when the DNR, according to their information, says by March 1st, 2026, Minnesota DNR will notify counties of their option to pass a restrictive ordinance and provide a model ordinance. The DNRs indicate they plan to distribute this notice in the coming months, so we don't have to have it done by then, but they're going to notify us of what we have to do. So we're within the time frame to take comment and make a decision.
So we need a motion to set public hearing for 7 p.m. on February 24th.
I so move a share moving it from the 3rd to the 24th.
Second.
Any discussion?
Oh, and again, now you said now it is now a public hearing, not a public meeting. So why was the change?
Public. We decided it was a public hearing, so it was legal. We're going to take minutes and make comment and have it on the record that we had a meeting.
Or is a public meeting would be the same? That's a public hearing.
We'll be taking action. So,
Yeah.
So, and the hearing for the public. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and we won't take any action.
Right. There's no action required at the meeting.
So we'll have to be in the meeting and then make a motion on the public hearing. Yeah.
And hopefully it'll be all.
I think it will.
Okay, I was telling Kyle earlier that I had met a guy that worked there. He's a new employee at Minnesota Public Radio. And he wants to do some, stories about rural things that, and he wants to kind of, bring a focus to rural issues or whatever. It is, cities get some attention. So, we started talking about this deer hunting thing, and he was pretty fascinated by that. He knew about stuff about deer hunting, exactly not much since I know deer hunts. But anyway, I told him to reach out to Kyle. He's gonna call me back, I think Friday. I'll tell him about the date change and hopefully that'll work out for him. I think he wanted to just talk to members of the public as well, you know, to get their take on this, how things are going in real life.
And I can also let you know too, I've contacted all the other counties in our district down here, and Lincoln is had a meeting in December and made no decision. Lyon County has no ordinance in plan at this point. Redwood County, no consensus at the board level. They just want to see what other counties are doing as well. Not heard back from Murray. Cottonwood is having a public hearing on February 11th. Rock County is the only one that's making it. Sounds like they're going to pursue a shotgun ordinance, according to what Kyle emailed me. So, but it's not in that they've made a decision yet, but that's what they're looking at. Nobles is having a hearing on February 12th. I didn't hear anything back from Jackson yet.
Do you think we did talking about the zone for Rock County comes up? It does match up. It says match county line. Right.
And that's true for Murray and Lincoln also.
Right. So they not really match.
Kind of.
But that zone won't change the fact that you can, if they go rifle, we don't. You can only use rifle up the county line. Your tag, whatever your county said. Yeah, your tag might be good in that zone. You can't go by the zone for a white weapon. Yeah, no.
That'll get awfully confusing.
No.
Yes.
It'll be an enforcement nightmare.
We have one on both sides of the zone. So you know, get the board tag on one side of the board tag on the other side. We had one time we loaded a deer in one zone and crossed to the other zone and it came where to talk to us. Hey, we can show you where we shot it. We just were pursuing the winter end. Like over there, he believed us, so that's messing with us.
You can follow us about
Yeah.
Weapons.
Yes, right.
Well, no, every fence anymore.
If you do, you know,
Whatever you
get away.
You can have more than one.
Your pistol walls. Over under, or rifle, pistol, shotgun should, rifle, shotgun, dual barrel should be popular as well. They don't make them. I don't know.
There'll be an uptick in sales. All right, any other comments?
February 24th, 7 p.m.
Guys, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else to be brought up today? Okay,
Second.
all in favor? Opposed? Carries.
Not right. I've already come up with this. Just never know.
Maybe more than that, there's some good,